Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I'm sitting down to share and chat with you guys about our upcoming homeschooling year's schedule, what I plan to do as far as an overview of how I'm scheduling out this year as we move into new territory with my oldest potentially getting a job and also dual enrolling, and just some schedule changes that come with having an 11th grader, a 10th grader, an 8th grader, and a 6th grader. So we're going to be talking scheduling, how I do things. I'm going to break it down like I always do, from a yearly overlook to a monthly approach, and then kind of what I'm anticipating our day-to-day homeschooling rhythm to look like. Notice that I say rhythm and routine, not a schedule. I do not operate on a timed schedule or a time clock. Never have, never will. So that's what we're going to be doing. So grab a cup of coffee, grab some tea, grab your water. Let me join you for a walk on the treadmill as I chat with you about our upcoming homeschool year schedule, which is another thing that I am able to check off of my to-do list when it comes for homeschool preparation time. The list that I have provided for free for you guys to download and get prepared for your homeschooling year the way that I like to. So here's a current look at where I'm at on my checklist. All those little yellow bubbles mean that I've done it, which means I'm doing really, really well. But you can download it for free, have it, save it, use it next year. Use it in the future, look at it for curiosity's sake, whatever you want. You can find that link down below. But we're gonna jump in and we're gonna talk about homeschooling schedules today. So clearly I've been homeschooling a long time, and many of you have been following my homeschooling journey here on my YouTube channel as well as over on Instagram for many years. So you know that I am not someone who reinvents the wheel every year or changes things that don't need to be changed. And one of those things is our homeschooling rhythm and routine. As far as our yearly schedule goes, I will be sticking with a year-round homeschooling schedule. We always school year-round, but we do take a longer break in the summer months to accommodate my kids' sports schedules, VBS, all of that good stuff, and we just have a little bit more flexibility. However, we always finish later than the public school and we start sooner than the public school. So we are definitely still continuing on with a year-round homeschooling schedule. Along with that, I am not changing our process, of which I have done every year, where I only map out the first 6, 10, 12 weeks at best of school when it comes to breaks. I've shared many times in the past, and so a lot of this I'm repeating myself on. So if you've heard this before, I apologize. And also I need to stop saying that I've said this before, because you wouldn't be watching this video if you, maybe you would, I don't know. Anyway, I only plan that far out because there's just so much that can change. We can be way beyond where I expect to be, or we might be a little bit behind where I expect to be, and it's really no big deal at all. So I just prefer to only map out those initial, like quarter one basically, so the first 9 weeks of school. I also really try to not take any time off, and when I say time off, I mean substantial time off, like taking an entire week off, until we've completed at least the first 6 weeks of our new school year, because I find that that is very counterproductive to getting everybody into gear again, getting new curriculum moving and grooving, getting everybody acclimated to the earlier wake ups, you know, all that kind of stuff. Taking time off too soon will set my family back, and so that's something that I don't like to do. Speaking of breaks, how I always approach breaks is I schedule our travel first, and then I look at holidays. After that, if we do not have any travel or any substantial time off for any holidays, then I try to not school consecutively for more than 6 to 7 weeks without taking a week off. So, you know, that's kind of like Sabbath schooling or so, but I don't stick to that 100% because often we'll have a trip or we'll have Christmas or something like that. And so that will, you know, kind of mess up that rhythm. But if we're in a season where there's not a lot of that, then I do not like to take any time, or I don't like to school more than 6 to 7 weeks straight. And I think that Doing it that way has helped me, especially the last year, not feel so burned out. I mean, I still felt a little burned out toward the end of the year, but it wasn't quite as substantial. And I think it's because I really, really stuck to that and implemented that, and it worked really well. So that's kind of like my process on breaks. As far as our daily schedule goes, we will be sticking with the same starting time, which is 8:30 in the morning. We definitely like to get going. We would much rather finish up earlier than start later. And every homeschooler and every homeschooling family is going to have a different feeling on that. But my kids, myself, I would rather be done with school by lunch or a little bit after, rather than starting at like 10 and going until 5. That would just not work at all for us. So we will always have our 8:30 start time. I am not like about that. You know, sometimes it's 8:40, 8:45, but in general, 8:30 is my goal. And then we just move from one subject to another, and that's how we move through our school days. I don't have an end time because everyone finishes at different points depending on what work they have for that day. But that is what it is looking like. As far as like the daily schedule and the routines and the orders in which my kids do things, that stuff will be coming in another video once I get those typed up. I have not done that yet, but I have jotted them down right here loosely. We will still be sticking with our, instead of calling it a fun Friday, because I think every day in our homeschool is fun, I'm gonna call it a light Friday, where Fridays will be a lighter school day. So across the board, I'm having everyone have a lighter school day. Now that doesn't mean they're doing nothing because I have high schoolers, but it will be lighter. So for example, on Friday we will have, I'm looking over at my notes, no one will be doing math, and my youngest 2 kids will not be doing language arts that on Friday. So my high schoolers will have no math. My middle schoolers will have no math or language arts. We'll be doing something fun in place of that, like an art project or a unit study or something like that. And I always will shorten up morning basket a bit on Fridays. So that is something that I'm continuing on. Now, I already told you guys, I've shared like my schedules, my plans many times over in the past. So how I wanted to end this video is basically telling you guys what I'm changing this year when it comes to our schedule and our routine and rhythm for each day, because I feel like that will be better than telling you everything that I've already told many of you year after year after year, because I stay with the same thing. So what is changing for us this upcoming school year is, the first thing, I'm not having my kids do any assigned reading during school time. So whatever their assigned reading is for that day will be done at the end of their school day, or you know, in their free time or before bed or whatever. I'm not having my kids do assigned reading during school time. And that's because some of the books that my kids are beginning to read are very long, and their assigned reading can be like an hour long, and I do not want them sitting at their desk reading for an hour. They would much rather read and know that their school day is complete, rather than read for an hour and come back and know they have a whole math lecture and lesson ahead of them. So that's something I'm changing because my kids have gotten older, and I've recognized that that is like a little bit of a frustration. So I'm eliminating that. So there will be no assigned reading for them during, you know, technical school time. Another thing I am changing is we are doing history every single day. Up until last year, I was doing history just a few times a week. Now we will be doing history 5 days a week. And that is for a few reasons. One, we've changed curriculums. 2, my kids are older. So that is something we are going to be doing. I'm going to be sticking with doing the Good and the Beautiful science with my youngest daughter 3 days a week. So we won't be doing science all 5. Just those 3. And then the other thing that I'm going to that I'm changing, or I'm holding myself to, is 60 minutes at best for morning basket morning time. That is one of my favorite parts of our homeschooling day, and I can easily get lost in conversation with my kids, and we can, you know, and it can just get away from us. And with my kids getting older and them having more demands on their time and just needing to make some changes, because of that, and it doesn't mean it's bad, it just means, you know, we're evolving over here and things are changing. So I will be limiting that time to 60 minutes, and hopefully that'll be enough time. I know that it will be, but it's just gonna be, you know, something to be mindful of. So that is a look at our upcoming homeschooling schedule. I have us all planned out from our start date all the way through that first quarter. So those first 9 weeks, I write it in pencil in my planner, and we just start and we do lesson 1 and then lesson 2, and we just keep moving through. And that's the way that I've always done it and the way I will continue to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me chat about my upcoming homeschool schedule. Let me know if you have any questions down below. I'm always happy to answer. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up before you go. It's a free way to support my channel, and I will see you again really soon. Bye, friends.